So this is lesson 2.4 on variables and equations. So first, some important vocabulary. An equation is a mathematical sentence formed by placing an equal sign between two expressions. So for example, 5x is equal to 5 plus x plus 3 would be an example of an equation. So we have that equal sign between the two expressions. A solution of an equation is basically when you have an equation with a variable, is the number that produces a true statement when substituted for the variable. So what number is x going to be here to make this true, that both sides are equal? So you can do that by saying, well, 5x equals, if we combine the like terms, x plus 8, and we'll go over tips for solving later, but in this case, the solution would be x equals 2, because when x equals 2, 5 times 2 is 10, and 2 plus 8 is also 10. So solving an equation is finding all the solutions, like this x equals 2. But sometimes you may have a case where you have more than one that makes it true. So finding all the solutions is solving an equation. So the first example type of problem is writing verbal sentences as an equation. So if we had the sum of 3y and 1 is 10, how could we rewrite this as an equation? Well, sum is telling us it's addition. So 3y plus 1 is equal to 10. That's how we could rewrite this. Another example is the difference of t and 2 is 11. So t minus 2 is equal to 11. The product is multiplication, of negative 1 and m is negative 5. Well, negative 1 times m is the same thing as negative m. So here's negative m equals negative 5. And then the quotient, meaning division, of 2x and 5 is 10. So 2x divided by 5 is equal to 10. That's how we can go about rewriting these verbal sentences as an equation. So press pause and try the following to rewrite these verbal sentences as an equation. The second type of example is how do we check possible solutions? So in this case, they want you to say whether 3 or negative 3 is a solution of 6y minus 5 equals 13. So basically, we need to substitute 3 for y and negative 3 for y and figure out if the left side of the equation will also equal 13. So in this case, 6 times 3 minus 5, is it equal to 13? That's why there's a question mark. We're not sure. That's what we're figuring out. So then we can do 6 times 3 is 18 minus 5. 18 minus 5 is 13. So yes, we've checked this, and 3 is a solution. Then we want to check if negative 3 is also a solution. So in this case, we have 6 times negative 3 minus 5, which would be negative 18 minus 5. That's actually equal to negative 23, which is not equal to 13. So you put a slash through that equal sign because it's not equal, and answer negative 3 is not a solution. So I want you to use this method to tell whether the given variable is a solution for the equation. So example, in the first one, you have 8 minus 3m equals 17. When m equals negative 3, is this m equals negative 3 an actual solution or not a solution? So do that for the following 3 problems. Press pause now. The third example is solving equations by using mental math. So this involves having an equation, asking a question, coming up with the solution to that question, and then checking your answer. So in this case, if we had negative 3t equals 39, the question you would ask is negative 3 times what number equals 39? So what would you need to multiply negative 3 by to get 39? Well, it's a positive number here, and if it's a negative 3, we know it has to be negative. So negative 13 times negative 3 does equal 39, and we always check. So you can use your calculator to check, but you want to make sure when you plug your suspected solution back into the problem that it ends up being true. Another example would be 11 minus m equals 4. So 11 minus what number is equal to 4? Well, 11 minus 7 equals 4. So it's important that you ask yourself this question. So 25 plus k equals 13. So you could say 25 plus what number equals 13? So 25, we know 13 is smaller than 25, so we must have to add a negative number. So negative 12, yep, it works out. And then lastly, we have 70 divided by m equals 35. So 70 divided by what number is equal to 35? So if we divide 70 by 2, we do get 35. This is a way of using your mental math to solve an equation by asking a question. So I want you to use this mental math, so no calculator, except to check at the end, to solve the following three. So begin with 84 divided by x is equal to negative 7. So 84 divided by what number is going to equal negative 7? So complete the following four problems. Press pause now. And lastly, the fourth example in this section is writing and solving an equation. This is using your verbal model. So you divide an 8-quart bag of potting soil into 4 portions for your flowers you are planting. Find the size of each portion of potting soil. So in this case, you could say the number of portions times the size of each portion equals the total amount in the bag. And in this case, we can let P represent the size of each portion. So this is going to be our P. In this case, the total amount in each bag, well, we know it's an 8-quart bag, so this is 8. And the number of portions is 4. So then we can rewrite this as an equation as 4P, so 4 times P equals 8. So 4P must equal 2 because 4 times 2 equals 8. So each portion is 2 quarts. And lastly, try this one on your own at home. So your 19-year-old sister is 4 years older than you. Write and solve an equation to find out your age. So use this verbal model and then write an equation in order to solve for it. That's all for today's lesson.